Good afternoon, ladies and gents. This is Ian McParland down here doing a little Van Staal full product lineup review. We're going to start off with my personal favorite reel. This is basically what I use in the surf. I personally own, this is my personal reel here. This is the VS100. This is the entry level, like the smallest, the baby bear of the family here. But as far as line capacity, this thing does the work for me. I've done a lot of big fish. Stepping one grade up, we got the 150 here. This is very equivalent to like your 6500 size reel. These things have deep cut spools, so we got a lot of line capacity on this. Then my other Van Staal that I own is another VS. This is the 200 size. So I would say of your striper fishing, this is kind of like the bigger, probably the biggest that I would use for personal usage. Then for like the lineup down the VR line, which is more of their inshore like lighter tackle setups, we have the 50 down here, which is even more the baby bear. Perfect for your albies, super light, really nice, all blacked out here, beautiful reel. Then we go up to the 125 in the VR. A little bit bigger, a little bit more versatile. You can do it for, you can run your 30, 40 pound braids with those guys and not run into capacity issues. Then we got the 150 and the 175 down here, which is a little bit closer to our 200 capacity wise. That would just be like our entry level for what most people are going to use in the surf for stripers, blues. Most of these sizes are going to cover you.
What is the difference between the VS and the VR series?
Okay, so everybody knows the price tag difference, so the main difference is the massive gear in these VSs. I took the spool off of my personal reel to highlight the titanium main shaft on these. So it's keeping the weight down super strong. This thing is like overkill. Some of the main differences there. And then obviously most of the VSs are going to come bailless, and a lot of your VR options are going to come bailed.
What makes them so pricey?
So the Van Staal thing is completely waterproof. So I know from personal experience, my reel probably spends a quarter of its life underwater. With no hiccups. These things are totally waterproof. You want to take this thing scuba diving, as long as you don't drop it on the bottom of the ocean, it's really going to be hold up pretty darn well. Most budget reels, you get sand in them, you put them away wet, they don't hold up that well. Whether it be crunchy, the anti-reverse failing, line roller bearings failing, these things are just built to take it in the surf, and they hold up.
What type of fisherman should purchase a Van Staal?
So I would definitely say the full fat VSs are more for the surf guys. The bailless, a little bit more for the surf guy as well. But just somebody that wants to have no issues. I'm not the kind of guy that's forgiving on my tackle, and I don't have time to drop stripers because something failed. I've gone through so many reels, it's unbelievable, and you can't kill these things. You just can't. I've tried.
What size would you recommend for fishing the Cape Cod Canal?
Probably a 200. Probably a 200 is good all around. Not super heavy, not super huge, but more than enough line capacity and more than enough power to land like anything in there.
Can I use one from a boat?
Yeah, you definitely can. So I think that the VRs are a little bit more of a boat reel with the bail, but you can definitely use a VS in the boat. I've used mine numerous days.
Drop them in salt water and see how they perform after.
Well, this thing has had so much salt water through it, I don't even know. I've dunked it more times than I can count, and this is not that I recommend this, but this is just me. This is 4 years of sending it to Van Staal for service. It's going out. That's why I got it in the shop today. That's what we got off seasons for. But for what I've done to this thing and the fact that it still pretty works flawlessly is amazing to me.
What size would fit a 10-foot CTS 1 to 3 ounce rod?
So my recommendation would probably be a VS 150. Super versatile size, really lightweight. I would personally probably put a power knob on it. I love mine. It changes the reel. But this is just the most versatile size. They're with 30-pound braid. I think you get like some 400 yards. You know, I would probably run a considerable amount of backing just because it's a little excessive. But just super versatile size. It'll go on anything from like 8 foot to even like a 10.6, but I would probably max it out at.
How about the 6-year cost of ownership?
So I've had this for 5, and I haven't really done any maintenance to it other than, you know, my personal go home lube it after I wear it, you know, after I fish it. I have a 200 American made that's probably 15 plus years old at this point, and it works like a charm. I would say the average guy's probably servicing it twice in that. Do you know what I mean? Just to be honest, probably twice, maybe 3 times if you're really you're nice to it. Basic maintenance probably $80 to send it out to Van Staal to do like a full once over. You know, pretty reasonable.
Is it true that the anti-reverse breaks easily?
So the VS basically just sits on a massive gear. So the size of the gear in this thing is huge. It is so strong, full stainless. It doesn't have an anti-reverse. It just sits on the gear. So if I just grab the rotor here, it's just sitting back on the gear. There is no anti-reverse for this film. So bulletproof. Keep it simple, keep it working. All right, ladies and gents, so this has been an overview of both the VS and VR models from Van Staal. We're fully stocked up on these guys. If you've got any questions, either talk to Jake and he'll get a hold of me, or come in the shop and say hi. I have no problem talking to hours about these guys. So feel free to ask any questions. There is no stupid question. Just ask away. Have a great day, you guys.